this Bible, this Macmillan English dictionary. That's the only reason, that's the only thing that will make me read this book, is if I'm possessed by a demon. And even anyway, so today I have some books that I've had for quite some time, and I have decided for various reasons that I no longer want to keep. And so today we're going to be unhauling them. And so I have 17 books to unhaul. So let's just start. Okay, so the first book we're going to unhaul is Heads Over Heels by Jill Mansell. I don't know if I got the name right, but honestly, I have actually never read this book. I just had it, and I was like, oh, I was going to read it because my cousin gifted this to me. Like, I can't even remember, but it was a really long time ago. Like, I don't know, maybe 2013, 2014. I've had it since, yes, 2013, 2014, and I've not read it. And I just feel like at this point in my life, I'm never going to read it, except for some reason somebody just talks about it and it sounds interesting. But so far, nobody has talked about it, so I don't think I'm ever going to read it. So why not unhaul it and give it to someone who might actually read it? Then the next book is Ghana Must Go, which is actually a book that I recently heard. Like last month I got this book, but I'm unhauling it now because I got it for really cheap, and I wanted to just see, because I believe when I joined Bookstagram community, this book was, I saw it once or two times or something like that, but I tried to read it and the writing style was just making my head explode. Like, it was, I don't know, it's sharp. The writing style is very complicated for me, and I was not really enjoying myself while reading the book. So it's just like, why am I suffering myself to read a book I'm not enjoying? So I'm unhauling it. I only got like 4 chapters in, but the writing style was just doing my head in. Like, I feel like it's too flowery for me. It was just complicating my life at that point when I picked it up. So I was just like, I just DNF'd it, and I've decided I don't want to keep it because I'm never going to try to read it again. So let me give it to somebody who might appreciate the writing style and be able to get into the story. Then the next is Independence by Sarah Ladipo Makiwa. I'm unhauling this book, but I'm not going to give it to anybody. I'm actually going to give it to my cousin, who I recently realized likes reading. So I actually have some books that's from this pile that I'm going to give to him, and this one is one of them. I honestly, this is not even my copy. It belongs to my brother, which is why I'm not, because most of these books I'm going to sell them. But I'm not selling this one because it's not my copy. It's for my brother, but I took it from him because he was not reading it, and I don't think I ever will read this book. So I'll also give it to my cousin. Maybe he will read it. The next is Vampirates by Vampirates Empire of Night by Justin Sumper, and I actually got this one for free when I got some books, and this was just sent to me as a bonus book. But the truth is, this is not, I think my issue with this book is that this is not the first book in this series, because this book is from a series, and this is not the first book in the series. So I never felt like I wanted to read it, because what's the point of starting in the middle of the series? So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm unholding this because I'm never going to read it. And then the next book is The Summoner by Taran Mahatru, and honestly, I think the first time I heard about this book was in 2017 or so, and I think I read a couple of chapters of it and I really enjoyed it. But I believe at the point where I first heard about this book, I was writing the exam, so I could not finish it. And then recently, in like, I want to say 2020, 2019, I was able to get myself a physical copy of the book. But now I'm not really interested. Since like the time I got this book, I have never once picked it up. So I've just decided to give it away. This is actually one of the books that I'm going to be giving to my cousin because it has Harry Potter vibes. Like if you like Harry Potter, you like this type of book, I believe. So I feel like it might just be, because I feel like he's around that age where this will be interesting to him. That's just the feeling. I honestly don't know what the young man reads. I just know that he reads. So I'm just like giving books from different genres. I'll just be selecting books from different genres from my bookshelf and giving to him to see which one he likes. So this is one of the books I'll be giving to my cousin. And then the next is Love is Beautiful When in Bloom by Lara T. Karim. And honestly, this is like one of the most it's actually physically hot to unhaul this because the cover is so beautiful, and I really like the cover of this book. Like I want to keep this book on my shelf forever, but at the same time I read the book and honestly it wasn't really my vibe, because mostly because this is a collection of short stories and most of the stories have insta-love undertone. I think mainly because they are all short stories, so there's not enough time for the proper development I need in my stories to happen. And I feel like at this point maybe I'm not a short story babe, because so far how many short stories have I read? Amongst all the short stories I've read so far, I've only liked one, and that one is because it was like a novel told in short stories. Basically the central theme of the book there, basically in that book, there's like this central plot or something, and then these different short stories are about, I don't know how to explain, but long story short, all the short stories I've read, I've only liked one. So I feel like maybe short stories is not for me, so I don't want to keep this book because I didn't really enjoy it, although the cover is beautiful. But yeah, I don't want to keep it because I'm never going to reread it. So, and your girl needs money, so I'm selling books so I can make money anyway. So this is going. Then, okay, let's start from here. And then the next one is Legion by Brandon Sanderson. I actually bought this in, I don't know, maybe 2021, no, 2020. I bought this because I think at that point I just discovered Brandon Sanderson and I was kind of a little bit obsessed with Brandon Sanderson, and I wanted to own all the books by Brandon Sanderson. And sadly, because of the country I live in, it's not easy to just decide, oh, I want to buy all the books by this author, and you'll just be able to get it. This was the only Brandon Sanderson book I could get at that time, so I just was just like, since this is an author I'm obsessed with, why not just buy it? But since 2020, this book is still brand new. Like, it's a brand new book and I never actually read it, and I don't think I ever will. I'm interested in the fantasy series Brandon Sanderson has written, and this is like a thriller, which is not really my area of specialization. So I'm just like, why not get rid of it? Because I'm never going to read this. No point in taking up shelf space when I'm never going to read you. And then the next is a series, which is I don't know what the name of the series is, but this Philip Pullman book, this is this Subtle Knife, The Northern Lights, and this Amber Spyglass. And I honestly, his Dark Material series, I honestly wanted to read this series, but I don't have the vibe. Like, I don't have the vibe to read it. Like, I bought this series with the intention of reading it, but I'm not really interested enough to want to pick it up. Maybe until I see somebody talk about it before I'm like, okay, I'm ready to read this book. And I just decided, why keep it on my shelf when I know I'm not interested? If ever something pushes me to read it, I'll just buy it again. I can get thrifted copies. Like, it's a really popular book on yes, it's actually really popular. Like, a lot of Nigerian bookstores have this book, at least the ones on Instagram. A lot of them have this book, so it's not difficult to get. So I'm giving this is one of the books that I am giving to my cousin, because I don't know, I think this is a middle grade, and I feel like he's not anyway, I just feel like this might be something he might be interested in. I still don't know what his reading tastes I like, but I'm just going to pack a lot of books and give him. So anyway, this is one of the books that I'll be giving to my cousin also. And then we have another series that I bought and never read, and I don't know what this series is called. I don't know what this series is called, but there's The Haunted, Tempted, Untamed, Betrayed, and Chosen, and they are in the A House of Nights novel series. All 5 books belong to the A House of Nights novel series, and I believe there are even more books in this series apart from these ones. And I honestly bought these books with the intention I was actually planning on reading them. I think I got this in either 2019 or 2020, and I was like, will I say I was in a paranormal? No, I wasn't necessarily in a paranormal romance phase, but I guess you could say I was in a paranormal romance phase when I got these books, but I never got around to them, and I'm out of that phase now, and they're just taking up shelf space. And I know in my heart and in my soul that I will never read these books, except, I don't know, some sort of miracle happens. It's not going to happen. I won't read them. And yeah, I honestly won't read them, so I don't want to keep them on my shelf anymore, because yeah, so I'll be unhauling these because it's not going to happen, so why keep them on my shelf? And then the next I have is my Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I read this last year, and honestly, I still have mixed feelings about this book. Not necessarily with the book, because my issue with this book is that I read it and I was kind of bored. Like, I get why people like this book, and yeah, I understand why people like it, because I feel like from an objective point, it's a really good book. I was sharp bored. I kept on skipping pages. I was just like, can this thing end? Like, I need my misery. I need to end my misery. This book is boring me to death. That's just like a personal thing. I don't know. There must be something wrong. I don't know. Was not having a good time reading this book. But I honestly, I understand why people like this book. And I honestly did not like this book until, because this was a book for the Indulgent Bibliophile Book Club. By the way, I'm going to leave a link to the book discussion we had for this book. And after the book discussion with the book club, I actually appreciated the book more. So if you've not watched that video, it's on YouTube. It's available on YouTube to watch. I'll leave a link to the video here so that you can go and watch the Indulgent Bibliophiles discussion on this book. I just really enjoyed the discussion, and it made me appreciate the book more. But honestly, I did not really enjoy reading this book, which is why I am unhauling it now. I honestly wanted to keep this book for at least until the end of this year, and just maybe close to the end of the year I'll reread it again just to see if I like it more. But I don't want to, plus I'm looking for money, so I want to sell this thing and make money. So anyway, I'm unhauling this because I didn't really enjoy it, although I appreciate the general message the book had to offer because of the book club, the Indulgent Bibliophile Book Club. So go and watch their video. It's a very insightful discussion. Anyway, I did not really enjoy the book, so I'm giving it away. I've been unhauling it. And then the final book we have in this unhaul is Lizzie's Story by Stephen King. First of all, what was I thinking? 2020, 2019, Eghe was just buying books without thinking about it. Because look at the size of this book. Do I look like I'm ready to read something this big? It's like, why? Why did I even bother? Anyway, so I bought this book when I was in my Stephen King phase, also around the same time that I was in my Brandon Sanderson phase. Yeah, I had those phases around the same time. Anyway, and I wanted to get all Stephen King's books. Sadly, again, Nigeria decided to hinder me in my endeavor, so I this was one of the few books I was able to get my hands on that was by Stephen King, and I never, like, even looking at it now, I'm like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to read this. It's too big. You cannot stress me. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm not about to read this dictionary because I say I want to read a story. No, it's not happening. Anyway, I'm unhauling this because I'm never going to read it. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like, I can't even think of a scenario where I would be possessed by a demon, because that's the only reason why I would read this book, this Bible, this Macmillan English Dictionary. That's the only reason. That's the only thing that will make me read this book, is if I'm possessed by a demon. And even still, that demon will still face resistance, because it can't be me. Anyway, I'm just unhauling this because I'm never going to read it, and it's just taking up shelf space. And baby girl needs to create space for new books that are coming, so this has to go. Anyway, that's just it. Okay, so that has been my book Unhaul, and thank you for watching with me to this point so far, and I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next time.